Hello, welcome to TTLIY podcast, where we chat about realistic leadership theories. On today's podcast, we will be talking about mental health part 2. I would like to acknowledge with an Afrocentric land acknowledgement. As people of African descent, we offer this land recognition in solidarity with the indigenous peoples of Turtle Island in efforts and deliberate intention towards decolonization. As people of African descent, we acknowledge the land of Turtle Island that sustains us, express deep gratitude to its indigenous peoples, and pledge to honor our dignity and divinity that ultimately connects us to all. On today's episode, like mentioned, we'll be chatting about mental health and the importance of supporting, advocating. I'd like to welcome my amazing co-host, the amazing Rex Charlton. Rex, what's going on, man?
Good, Brad. How you doing?
Welcome back to the conversation.
Thank you.
It's good to have you
it's
back
always
on.
good to be back in studio for sure.
It's always good. And hey, we have the amazing Duffy in the house. Listen, I had to bring you on. I had to be like a whole different. So Duffy has actually been on one of our episodes. You've been on one of our episodes,
yeah, bro.
And you brought a lot of different things into the conversation. We thought to bring you back on to actually talk about mental health. Mental health. We celebrated mental health actually last month in May, and
right.
It's very important to advocate in different ways into sharing that story and connecting with different people and stuff like that. So Duffy, I want to ask you, what does mental health mean to you from a personal view?
It just means, honestly, for the most part, for me and just everything that I do, compared to the last episode where I day trade, I make music and stuff, that's what I do, right? Mm-hmm. It just kind of matters to me in a way where you need to understand your mental health and be aware of it to know where you can go in a way. I guess I'm making sense there. I'm still trying to you know what I mean, get everything going, but
that's your personal perspective of mental health. Rex, what do you think? What does mental health mean to you? And also, do you go through mental health? Because sometimes people feel that you don't go through mental health.
Right.
You're always perfect, and you always you always have this perfect life that's going on, and sometimes they don't see it. What does mental health mean to you? And
honestly,
do you go through it?
Yeah, man. I honestly do go through it. This whole I don't even know if it's because of Mental Health Month, but this month I was just in a daze. I don't know what was happening to me this whole month. It was I'm here, and I'm here present, but I'm not here mentally. I'm daydreaming. So I was I don't know what's happening. So what I did for me, honestly, this week, I just went for a long drive by myself, and I was I screwed down the windows, I opened up the sunroof, and I was I don't know what this feeling is, God, but I know that, I don't know what it was. I'm still trying to figure it out up to this day. And then you had that you mentioned that, you have to find out how do you cope with mental health. But I'm I just take a long drive, honestly. I was I'm here, but I'm not here. But I had to figure it out. So I'm still feeling that way. I don't know what it is, but I'm getting through. You gotta ask God for guidance and protection and see where it goes. But mental health means to me that you have to understand what you're going through. No one knows unless you talk about it. Right. No one knows, because I can be the happiest guy ever. I can be bubbly. I can be so motivational, and then I'm going through my own stuff that I have to deal with too. So unless you speak about it, then nobody knows exactly what's going on.
Speaking about it is so important. Duffy, do you speak about your mental health to other people, or do you have that trusted circle that you can go to cope through that?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, when it comes to me, I have my close friends that I'll always let them know the personal stuff I'm going through, and I always just need that voice of reasoning. And I have good friends in my circle that's not always going to be the yes man advice. It's always going to be something I need to hear, and then something that's just a plus, so I can kind of rationalize my thoughts and make sure I am going the right direction with the decisions I move forward with. But for the most part, even when I talk to people, I try to be very open about it, because even in Black communities, right, it's just not really talked about as much as it should be. And even even to the point now where it's like in Black communities, even like from where I'm from, North Crescent, the only thing most people know is anxiety, you know? But there's so many other mental problems that can come about, whether it's, you know, disorders or whatever it may be. And I feel like the knowledge is just important because if we can understand what other people are going through, it could help us when that might happen to us. Because like people from my area would just say, I'm upset or I'm down. Never really know what it is, right? But when you know, like, if it's just like extreme depression or stress or just you're angry about something, you just have better ways of dealing with it because now it's like, it's not as bad as it was, right? So now you just gotta work the solutions for it.
I could even add on to that too. I could be so honest right now. So back in Bahamas, you know, I didn't honestly know anything about mental health. We don't take it serious. I mean, I'm sorry to say, I'm from the Bahamas.
I should have knew that from you.
And like, we don't take.
Okay, sorry.
No, like we don't take. I feel as if we don't take mental health seriously. Like I honestly didn't even know mental health existed until I came to Canada, and I started to say, but like, when people from the islands is like, oh, he probably just sad. Go to God, talk about it, you know, God gotta work it out, you know. I mean, he does. He does. Don't get me wrong. You know, they're gonna say, pray for him, you know, he's gonna be good. But like, it's more to that. I mean, it's like, you have to put some action.
You have to acknowledge that as well. You have to acknowledge that I'm going through something, I'm going through mental health challenges. And yes, this is how I'm doing it. And that's what connects me to my next part of being an ally and an advocate in mental health. I feel like we need to support more movements to say, hey, we need more advocates. And you can be an advocate. You don't have to be a certified advocate of mental health. You just gotta go out, support. Tell your friend, I'm there for you. I'm gonna call you when you need me, or call me when you need me. And all like that song like, lean on me when you're not strong. I'll be your friend. Just call on your brother when you need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on me. And that's what we're all about. Leaning on each other. In order for us to move forward in this life journey, just advocating in those ways is so important. And so I want to support and to encourage people out in the community. Advocate, be a champion of change into your community for mental health. It's a serious cause. It's an important cause in order for us to move forward. And I want to touch a little bit on with you, Duffy. Was there a time when you wanted to give, but you couldn't give mentally back to the community or to people in general?
Absolutely. I mean, even just the year itself, like it's kind of been a roller coaster for me, just with like personal stuff and everything else. But you know, there was even times where I was dealing with stuff, and most times I try to do things alone. I don't know why, but like I'll try to do it productively. Like I'll read books, try to learn about things, apply the strategies in the books to my life to get a different result. But yeah, like sometimes when my friends are going through things, I feel again like just not that I can be mentally there for them, as you were saying. And it makes me feel ways because it's like I would love to be there for them. But the thing is like you need to make sure you're 100% before you even try to give someone that advice, right? Because if I'm not in the best headspace, I could send you down a whole wrong path. And I guess a little bit of a bias. I do feel the advice I give is great, but for me, you know, everyone else is affected differently. I could tell someone like. Another thing, just on the topic of mental health and sometimes dealing with stress and things, I'll just push it to the side, you know? But I push it to the side this way. I don't just like forget about it, but I get motivated. So if I'm stressed about something, I'll just put it in the back of my mind and I'll work on music, I'll work on my trading, and just aspire to always become better and better and better.
But, and then come back to it.
Yeah, but it doesn't work for everybody because pushing it to the side, you know, you leave something bottled up. When it comes out, you never know what it's going to be. But over the years, I've just learned to become a little bit better with it. But again, a lot of people could say it's a good thing to do or not.
For sure. Yeah. I have a question for you. Tyler. What type of friend are you? Like, are you the friend that people rely on, like they can come to you? Are you that strong friend that people say, okay, well, I know he always positive? Or like, you be like, what type of friend are you? Like, let me know what type of friend are you?
if my friends listening to this, y'all just be honest with me. But I feel though, honesty. I feel like I'm a supportive friend. That I am that type of friend where I check in on unusual times. To my friends, because sometimes they would say, "Oh, you text me when I just needed you in the right moment, just to reach out." And I feel like that's what I do in the midst of my busy schedule, because I'm very busy with a lot of different things going on. But I always tell my friends, like, hey, I would never forget, even though we don't talk often. I try to set a time out of my busy schedule just to sit down. I literally sit down and I text a bunch of my friends who I value, who I trust, and stuff like that. So I would say I'm a friend that actually can be counted for, and stuff like that. Sometimes, right? Sometimes. Well, I answer your call sometimes.
Yeah, of course. Even though you decline my calls sometimes too.
I decline your calls sometimes. You decline my calls. It's a mutual thing. But at the end of the day, we all understand that we love each other from a distance. But at the end of the day, we're there if we need to talk to. And I feel like I'm a person. If a friend needs to call to talk to me for advice or get an opinion, I feel like I'm that type of person that gives the honest truth, and also be very celebratory in different ways. Yeah, so I think that's important. Yeah.
What about you, man?
Duffy? Repeat the question for me again.
What type of friend are you? Are you that supportive friend, that strong friend, that person, that friend that just be like, yo, I think I just need support? Like, what type of friend are you?
For the most part, when I was younger, I was more so of that strong friend, because I didn't find I was dealing with too much like anxiety, stress, or worry in my life. But it's because I was comfortable, right? Now the things that I'm doing, I'm kind of just living uncomfortably every single day, like even being my own boss, making sure I'm responsible for just getting things handled. So not as much now. I wouldn't say I'm that friend that people can still call on me, but they won't, because they know I'm busy and got what I got going on. But if anyone ever had a call, whether they're like down on something small, whatever it is, needed a ride somewhere and just needed someone to talk to, I'm that friend. Even this year alone, like I've had friends where we just had to go down to the beach, just drive and just talk about some things, figure it out and just sometimes just vent, get it out, Because I'm not a psychologist, I can't give you the best advice.
Exactly. and the word to everyone that we're not expert, we're not mental health experts to tell you what to do and what not to do. We're just here have a conversation and voice our opinions for sure.
And the beautiful thing about that is you never know who you're going to help, because it could be the person that reaches out to you and they're like, thank you for it, I needed it. Or it could be the shy person that just will never reach out to you, but you changed your life. Even when I was really busy with music, I'm just now getting back to it now, to do it consistently. I had some people message me from overseas, I think it was Germany, and they just messaged me and told me like they were dealing with a lot of anxiety, stress, and didn't really know where they fit in, and they said my music resonated with them. And I never met this person a day in my life.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
So again, you never know like your impact in the world, so that's why I feel,
You're just connecting the dots to the next part of my conversation, which is really good. It helps me. Words are so important. It helps you to know how to impact and inspire people in the community and stuff like that. And people always say sometimes, you can't do this, or I can't go there, I can't. And sometimes those type of words mentally discourage people in those ways.
Absolutely.
Did that phrase ever affected you?
Like I can't?
Yeah, those when people say that you can't or you couldn't do this, have those words ever affected you mentally?
Absolutely, because I don't even think on that standpoint if I can't anymore. And it happened in 2019 because I was working a job and it was good money, but money isn't everything at the end of the day. And my passion wasn't there. So it was a job doing sales. I got a chance to travel to Newfoundland, Saskatoon, and every time we learned just the trick of the trade and everything, a lot of door-to-door sales is like not giving up on yourself. So even when you get told no a bunch of times, you don't want to say to yourself, I can't do this, or like, I'm not made for this. Because you will literally see people that said that to themselves turn into the best salespeople ever, So then that was like 2019, it's 2022 now. I just took that same lesson of just I can't and applied it to everything I'm doing now. So even when I think of music and doing it on a big scale or whatever I want to do it at, I can do it. No, it's not I can't. And especially just when you educate yourself in the realm of like, where the can and can'ts come from. If you see other people in your industry doing what you want to do, what's really stopping you?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we're all human.
Right.
And the thing that really separates us all is just drive to get it done. Obviously, there's other things too, like depending on where you're from, you might have more privilege for this, et cetera, et cetera. But you always just got to believe that you can do anything. Whether it's getting out of a slump of depression, you know, dealing with like just a battle back and forth, like how I kind of mentioned to you outside, where mental health is kind of like, it's like a war going on inside your head. You got to make sure you're the winner, right? Just believe you can do it, you know? It might not be today, it might not be tomorrow, it might not be next week, might not be next year, but keep working your life the whole time and just get it done, you know?
Wow.
That's powerful, man.
That's really powerful. Keep pushing. Keep going. And bit by bit. And when I started this podcast, out of hope. And thankfully to my producer Israel, who gave me that opportunity to start this podcast. And sometimes you may want to give up on different areas. You may not, and I saw this podcast as a hope and a builder for something big and all that good stuff. And so this is just the beginning of this podcast. There'll be more conversations that's going to be very impactful in shifting the different sets. I think this is our third set in this podcast, and so not giving up, and people are watching and people are seeing what we're doing in this podcast setting. And so I think it's very helpful to bring people like yourself, Duffy, on to share a bit of hope and a bit of inspiration.
To be honest, like, you just gotta focus on you. But unless I say, yo, like, I'm actually going through some stuff, like, nobody would never know that I'm going through stuff. So I think as if we should be able to be a voice of our own selves and speak about whatever you're going through, to be honest. And so if you have that mentality, that can't, or that willpower to say that you can do anything possible, as if you have that it goes with mental. It goes with mental health as well. So it all plays a factor in your head. So I guess it's like to say, keep pushing, and you can do all things, to be honest.
And that's a recap, folks. Keep pushing and keep moving forward. We'll see you at the next episode.
See ya.